Yeah, it's crazy. Um, Honestly, I was just thinking about it. If you get to watch these videos, you get to know a whole different side of me that my family don't even get to know. Um, I think that's crazy. It's a lot easier to talk to the. It's a lot easier to talk to the camera and stuff like that. It's not a person. I know it's people behind it, people who might comment, they might see it, they might say whatever, do woo wop the bim, and. But it's a lot easier to talk to the camera than it is to necessarily talk to my family in some cases, and this one of those things is just it's kind of crazy to me. So if you're reading the title, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. You probably know what it is. Got a new chair since my last video. This gaming chair came with a massager in it and whatever. I got this thing for $80, but this ain't the topic of it. If you wanted to know, I linked the description, but I doubt anybody cares. I doubt anybody gonna see this. Um, Topic of this video is I recently wrote my cousin who is in prison, and as I wrote him, and I don't want to get like teary eyed and none of that stuff. I've been drinking, of course. If you've been around the channel, I make about half of these videos drunk just because. But I mean, because that's like sometimes when ideas come to me, like some stuff I might want to talk about, or sometimes I get drunk and then I just want to talk about some of the things that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't know. I was too afraid, or I didn't delve too deeply into it, and I didn't express all my thoughts and everything like that. But recently, I emailed slash message, wrote a letter, whatever, to my cousin who is in prison. I'm not gonna give out his name, and I'm not gonna give out too much details and stuff like that because that's not me. That's not my life. But my cousin is in prison doing 18 years for armed robbery. Um, yeah, doing 18 years for armed robbery. Been locked up since December of 2016. It's going on 5 years. Nobody was shot, nothing like that. It was an armed robbery, a violent felony and stuff. And I not even wrote to him. I had talked to him a couple of times over the years. It was the family Thanksgiving or something, and I answer my mama phone, or I answer his mama phone, cause he my cousin, my auntie. I answer her phone, I'd be like, your phone ringing, and they like, yeah, answer it, or they'll be like, ooh, that's your cousin. And I'm like, oh, damn, really? I answer it, I talk to him for a couple of seconds, you know, whatever. But I never wrote to him. I always had it like in my mind, like, yeah, I write to him. I want to do it. I want to mail a letter to him. Like I don't want to do no electronics and none of that stuff. I want to write a letter, send it off to him. I want to do this and that. Blah blah blah, and I never did it. It's been 5 years and I never did it since 2016. I could have did it. I honestly could have since 2016, since when it pretty much 2017, since like it was at the end of 2016. But since 2017, I honestly could have did it. I could have did it on so many different occasions. And for me, I could never understand why I didn't do it. Like, I just kind of rationalized and put in my head like, oh, I was lazy. I didn't feel like reaching out to people. I didn't feel like getting the information. I didn't feel like doing that and stuff. And I made so many excuses. I was in college and I was in school. I was like in high school for the beginning of 2017, Then I was in like college for the rest of 2017. And I made all of these excuses, even when I was going through the summer of 2017, where I was just playing video games and working a couple hours. I made all of these excuses. I pushed it to the back of my mind and stuff like that. And I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why I was doing any of that stuff. Like I kept knowing it was important. I kept knowing it was something that would probably make him happy. I kept knowing these things and stuff, but like I always just like, even when I talk to him on the phone, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write you, and I was just like, I was saying that, and I wanted to do those things. I really did. Like it wasn't like I was on no BS. It wasn't like I was sitting up there like, yeah, get off the phone, just trying to get him off the phone or something. It was like I really wanted to do these things, but I just I made every excuse not to, and it was crazy and stuff like that. And recently, I had started dreaming about my cousin, not like some spiritual like crazy stuff, nothing like that. I had a dream for him about like a year, maybe even longer than a year ago, where he was well, it was me, him, my brother, and his brother, because my mother's side of the family and his mother's side of the family was very close. Like we was like that. Like we spent so much time together and stuff. It was like it was like it was like nothing else. It was like we were very close, bro. Like it definitely fell within the realm of family. Like it wasn't like we were just blood related. Cause I got a lot of family that ain't family. That don't feel like I'm related to them. You go to the family meet, your mama like, yeah, that's so wop woo wop the bam and stuff and woo 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 and then you go say hi to them and they like, I remember when you was this big, you remember me? Nah, I don't remember you. I was this big. like like how would I remember you? I was 1, 2, baby, 3. Nah, I don't remember you. I ain't see you in years. Ain't no way I remember you. I'm 18. How would I remember you from 15 years ago if in 15 years this the first time I'm seeing you? But this wasn't like that. This wasn't no family. This wasn't no estranged family. This wasn't no I see you every 1 to 2 years type family. This was like this was like this was blood. This is like, yeah, my mama sent me over here. You sent me over here. We grew up together. My cousins, of course, they older than me. I'm the fourth child, and they was older than my older brother by like 2 years. So they was like 4, 6, 8 years older than me. But they kind of felt like just like older brothers, like that's how it felt. Like at a certain age gap, you don't connect with people too much. At least for me. So like if somebody like 10 years older than me, I can't really connect with you at that age gap because when would we have ever been in the same like head frame where we wanted to hang out? If I'm 6, you 16. If I'm 16, you 26. But they felt like brothers and stuff. As much as I love my brother, because me and him only like 2 years apart, but they felt like family. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to keep going into that. And I was always making these excuses, not write them, and stuff. Like, yeah, I want to do a paper and pen letter. It's like the movies. Kind of like that. Waiting the mail. Oh, I got a letter from this person. Oh, I got a letter from them and stuff like that. Made all these excuses. I never did that stuff. I never got the information. I never did anything like that. Sorry, my neck acting up. Ugh. Oh, there we go. Let me pop it. Ooh, but I never made any of that effort, and go back like 1, maybe 2 years ago. I had dreams about my cousin. I had a dream it was me, him, his brother, my brother, and we was all just sitting around in the kitchen. We was laughing, we was cracking jokes, telling old stories and stuff. And I woke up from that dream and I cried. This is like 1 or 2 years ago. I never forgot it. I woke up from that dream and I cried. And I still never wrote him. I still never wrote him. It was recently about 2 3 months ago. It was about it was within 2 3 months. I started having dreams about him. None crazy, none like something bad happened to him, nothing like that. It was just like I just started having dreams about him. How he was doing, he might be kicking it with the family one day. Something like that. I started having dreams about him. And I finally was like, I'm finna go write him. I'm gonna go write him. Also, if you see the scar on my lip, no, I don't got no fucking herpes. Never had a STD. Don't got no STDs. Nothing like that. I got a like a really rare skin condition where sometimes I'm allergic to certain stuff like dirt and shit like that. I can't just have it on my skin. Like I can't just have a dog lick my face or pet hair or anything like that. I break out with like ringworm, and then like it scab up a little bit. So if you looking at my lip or some shit and you like, what the fuck happened to this lip? I had the skin condition. I've been breaking out like this since I was like 8. It also happens if I eat too much candy. So like if I was to binge eat a bunch of candy, my face would break out with this shit. If I was to play around in dirt or like do any of that shit, my face break out with this stuff. It's a skin condition. Unfortunately, I had it. I got bullied over this shit, made fun of. Not even bullied, just made fun of by some shit that just kind of hurt my feelings. But yeah, I always been a little bit sensitive about it, but like, yeah, that's what it is. Hey, but I started having dreams about him. Started having dreams. I started like, whatever. And I finally decided, like, I woke up. It was one day. I can't even remember the dream. That's the crazy part. I can remember that dream from 1 2 years ago. But I woke up one day and I messaged my brother because I know my brother had been in contact with him, a couple of times. And my brother was like, I messaged him like at like 4 in the morning, like 4:45 in the morning. I was like, yo, how do I message him? Like, what's going on like that? Talk to him. Look at me. I've been slouching this whole video. Maybe I could sit up. Maybe. A little posture. But I messaged him and I'm like, yo, like, what's his stuff, And he tell me how to, get how to message him. He like download the JPay app, which if you don't know, it's an app basically where you can talk to people who are like in jail. I think it's probably like jail pay since it say JPay. But you can talk to people that's in jail. You can write them letters, send them pictures and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you didn't know, that's what JPay is. And he tell me like, yeah, download this app, whatever. He didn't give me the information. He told me how to do it. He didn't like tell me like what his information was to message him directly. And so like, I was like, all right, let me look up his information. I know what state he locked up in. Let me just make sure that this stuff pop up. I look him up on Google and stuff just to like, do that. And I almost cried. I almost cried looking him up on Google. And it's not like if he wasn't my cousin, I probably wouldn't have too much sympathy towards him. It's not like I'm finna get up here and say I'm finna plead his innocence. It's not like I'm finna say, yeah, he just like a misunderstood kid, which he is, or was, he didn't have the best upbringing. But it's not like I'm finna get up here and say any of those things, bro. Cause I already had it in my mind, like, he was tripping. He was tripping to do what he was doing. and these are just kind of the consequences. I had that in my mind. It was only when I started trying to look him up, to message him, and it's been 5 years that I had those thoughts in my mind. When I tried to look him up and I tried to make this email and stuff, I was shaking. I was like, I was just shaking. I had so much anxiety. I was, I was sad, and I had so much anxiety. I was just looking. I wasn't even in the middle of typing the email. I was just trying to get like his inmate number, you know. And I was sitting up there shaking. The reason I never messaged him, I never did any of all that stuff, is because it felt like the moment I messaged him, it all felt real. It felt like he was gonna be doing 18 years of his life in jail. It felt like he went away when he was like 26, and I wouldn't be seeing him until he's like in his mid 40s. That's what it felt like. It felt like I didn't have my cousin anymore. It felt like I couldn't pretend. I couldn't pretend like everything, and I know I had this problem because it's the same emotions I felt when my uncle got shot. When my uncle was dying in the hospital, I had, and I was like 8. Not even 8. I don't even know it. I don't even know what I was anymore. I know I was younger than 13, and I had it in my mind like he gonna be okay, cause don't nothing bad happen to me. My family and stuff. We good people. Bad things don't happen to good people. God looks out for good people and stuff like that. And I couldn't even accept the fact he died. I remember the moment my grandmother, his mother, my uncle's mother, of course. I'm talking about my uncle, these are different cases, but I'm just talking about my uncle. They're not even related. Like, one's on my dad's side, one's on my mom's side. But I remember, like, even when my grandma told us, like, he was dead, I was like, God gonna bring him back to life. Like, nah, if they think he did, he gonna pop up off that table and be alive, and it'll be another miracle because bad things don't happen to good people. Even though my uncle, he was in the process of, I don't know too much, but from what I can remember, he was in the process of stealing something for somebody else. And I'm just like, bad things don't happen to good people. I know my great grandmother, his grandmother, she a good person. I know my grandmother, my uncle's mother is a good person. Why they loved one gotta die? I love him. Why he gotta die? That's not gonna happen. Even after we got the phone call, I couldn't accept the fact that it happened. I didn't. It was only at his funeral when I had to explain to like his 5-year-old son that he wasn't seeing his dad anymore. I was 8. I was like 8 or 9. It was only at his funeral when his son asked me like, why my dad not getting up no more, that I had to explain to him. And I'm like, 9. I don't even know what death is. I don't know about the afterlife. I ain't even got my own solid opinion on anything else. I had to explain to him like, your dad not getting back up. He not getting up no more. That's over with. Last time you met him, that was the last time you met him, and it's the last time you gonna get to see him. Now, I remember seeing my cousin break down crying, 5-year-old, just explaining that concept to him. Not even death, nothing like that, no pain, no suffering. Just explaining that concept of that the last time you saw him was the last time you was gonna see him. That stuff stuck with me. And it was only after trying to compose this email to my cousin. I'm jumping back ahead to recently. I'm 20, 22 now. I was only trying to explain that to him, trying to deal with myself recently, that I realized I got a problem with denial. I'm definitely one of those people who be in denial. And it's only when I accept something that I feel all of the emotions of that. Like, I'd be sitting to myself, like, why can't I feel these emotions? Why can't I feel these emotions? That's because I don't accept them. I don't. It was when I tried to write him that I accepted the fact that he really locked up, that he really did this crime, or at least that he was found guilty for this crime. It's only then that I felt like, wow, this is really different. Like, my little cousins, they dad locked up, bro. They not gonna, if they was gonna see their dad, they not gonna see him until he in his 40s and they in their 20s. Or like, it was when that happened, I almost cried. I almost cried. I was just sitting up there shaking. Couldn't stop shaking. And then I came back to trying to write a letter to him. Couldn't stop shaking. I had so much anxiety. I'm like, he probably gonna be pissed off the fact that I'm even writing him. 5 years, how close we was. I'm writing him now. Bro. Like, it's been 5 years. I just graduated college. I've been living a life, and I haven't even wrote to this man. You know, I haven't even talked to him in 2 years, and that was just to pass the phone off to his mama. And it was like that gave me even more anxiety. I was like, would I want to talk to me? Would I? And I was just like, I got to face that music, and if he don't understand, I'm gonna make him understand. Cause now I finally understand that I've been in denial. I have a very negative. I can't accept bad things happening to people that I know. It's just not my mindset. Like, that's not the first thing. If you told me my best friend was dead, it'll probably be years before I could even accept that. I don't know if I'm getting better at it, and I don't know if I want to get better at it. I don't want to be completely destroyed first off, you know? I don't know if when I first heard it, if I would have started breaking down crying that he got sentenced to 18 years, if I would have been depressed or whatever. I don't know if this is denial is a protection mechanism for your psyche and stuff. And it's done me a lot of favors. You know, I didn't been in a really bad situation, and the only thing I can say is, boy, I'm JC. You know, I'm gonna work through this. I'm the world's best Twitch streamer. I'm getting through this, bro. Like, who gonna stop me? That's how I get through a lot of situations, and it works out like 98% of the time. And I can push through like 98% of any situations, but stuff like that stuff really messed me up. I wrote him, you know, he told me he was not expecting to hear from me. He wasn't expecting to see my name pop up in his message list. He wasn't expecting any of that stuff. He met me with like kind careness and like love, like I miss you and stuff like that. And I didn't even feel like I deserved that. I felt like I did him wrong, and if I could flip the script, I don't even know if I would like want to be that open with myself, you know. And he met me with like a lot of kindness and stuff. You know, we talked. We sent like 3 emails back and forth. I sent him some pictures from my graduation. I tried to send him some more pictures of like, you know, I talked about I adopted a cat and stuff. You know, I was just talking with him. I tried to send him those pictures, but like apparently the picture size, the megabits or whatever, was too large, and that didn't get, you know, taken in nicely. And yeah, I was just so confused with that. I messaged him. That was so tough for me. And then after messaging him, I felt like I finally had the strength to, you know, try to believe in him, you know, try to fight for him. My cousin, he didn't do anything that's to be taken lightly. You know, armed robbery, that's no joke. Somebody could die during an armed robbery. You know, that's what he was found guilty with. He didn't tell me he did it or nothing like that, but when I say like, you know, that's what he did and stuff like that, that's what he was found guilty with. And that's no joke. That's nothing to be taken lightly. But 18 years, you ain't shoot nobody. You ain't shoot the gun. You ain't hit nobody. You ain't do nothing like that. If it was somebody else, I probably wouldn't come to this level of understanding and trying to say, like, you know what, maybe that ain't the right way to do things. So recently, I typed up a letter. I ain't sent it off yet. But I sat down and I typed up a letter to the governor of his state where he locked up at. I'm going to be mailing it off. I looked up the mailing address, the governor name, and all of that stuff. I'm going to be sending a letter off. In the letter, I wrote about like how I don't think that 18 years is a fair punishment because and I even put this in that letter. I think I put, like, ironically, he not even a violent person. My cousin not a violent person. He not somebody that's gonna shoot you. He not somebody that's gonna beat you up. He not somebody that got anger issues or nothing like that. Put his hands on a woman or none of that stuff. It's just that, like, he needed money and he went about it in the dumbest way possible. But like that's probably what he knew he could get money with. And it's crazy. But I wrote to the governor, I explained to her, I'm like, I think 18 years is, it's not fair to the taxpayers because on average, the prisoner costs in this state, like, such and such is going to be over, it's going to be over $500,000 just to take care of him. And I was like, so far, he been locked up for 5 years. I was like, what I think is a fair sentence is if you commuted his sentence down to 7 years, and you gave him 7 years probation, and you gave him it was 3 years worth of community service. Let me look up look, here it is right here in my calculator because I was typing it up today.